Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Yeah, welcome back to another episode at Mike's Mods and Customs. What we're working on today is a Diecast Mafia build for February. Theme is camper trailer. So I had a couple of camper trailers here. And so to give you an idea of what my thoughts are, we're just going to detach that for the second. And I've made a cardboard prototype of camper. So I'm going to attempt to scratch build a camper insert to put into the back of this truck, and then modify the hitch to still be able to hook up to what's going to be a modified trailer, and we'll have a camper duplex. So we'll see what happens. We'll get these things apart, get taking a look at all the pieces and parts. Alright, so we got everything drilled apart here, so let's take a look and see what we got. There's all our parts for this build, so we'll see what we're going to do there. Alright, so we got this thing drilled and tapped. We got our screws in there, and now we're just going to go ahead and get it dipping into the old sauce here. We'll let it sit in there and get it good and coated. Let it sit and soak for a few, and then we'll come back to it another day or so. There she goes. So now onto my scratch build part. So I've cut these pieces out, used them for templates, and so far I've come up with this. So yeah, it's a rough cut fit right now, but this is what we're going after. Kind of a barn style roof. I'll try to insert a picture here of my inspiration and where this idea came from. Alright, so here we are working on the base. I decided to install some monster truck style tires, but the axles are a little bit too wide. So I cut these spacers out of a Q-tip tube. So as we discovered from other YouTube channels, that these tubes are hollow. And these can work out great for different kind of things. So there's that. We got the casting stripped. I've cleaned away a little bit of the wheel wells to make room for the bigger wheels. Still have to fine tune all that. As well as the trailer is stripped, and I have some bigger wheels set up in there. So we got a lot going on here. Okay, so workbench is a mess. We got a lot going on here. Get the wheels done. We opened up the wheel wells a little bit, make room for those bigger tires. And I did the same thing to the trailer. Bigger tires, made that happen. So the scratch building part has come along nice. This is a little bit of squadron putty on here just to kind of fill in some of the spaces and imperfections that we had. But my plan is this. It's going to sit in there like that. I got tons more work to do to this camper insert, if you will. I've now shifted gears over to this. This was my first prototype kind of piece to give you an idea of what I'm doing here. I'm going to trim this styrene to extend the tongue so it'll hook up to the truck properly. Make sense? So I've only gone as far as super gluing this on there. So I've got that shape cut out the way I wanted it to. Fits on there nice. And it's on there, but as I know from past experience, the super glue is not going to hold that as good as I want it to permanently. So I'm going to mix up some of our special silver weld. I'm sorry, JB weld. And we're going to fill in some of these voids. Probably just, I don't know how exactly, but we're going to go over the rest of this with some JB weld here. And then we'll sand that down, and then we'll start working on the cutting these pieces here on the side will be cut away. It'll look more similar to this. so here we are back with some final production on my trailer tongue extension. Got the JB Weld in there, get that dried and cured and sanded down, and then I shaped the tongue the way that I think that I wanted it to be. We're going to shift gears to the camper trailer body. So I'm going to experiment a couple of things here. I'm going to start with doing this with a lot of brush. And I'm just going to start with some of this craft paint. This cinnamon brown. Looks like it's probably going to take a couple of coats to get through the primer, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up with this. I'm going to get the rest of this done. And then I'll be back with you in a few to show you some of the results. We'll see how this comes out. Alright, so we're just going to talk you through some of this stuff here. We got the trailer here, revised with the extended tongue. We got all that molded in there and sanded down and painted nicely with the JB Weld. And then we have the interior right here. We have the black interior, and then just the wooden bed at the back of the half of the truck. That sits on the base very nicely with our larger tires. That's now a roller. And then we go to the interior of the camper trailer itself, which is actually a pretty impressive and detailed interior. I didn't take any time to do anything more than this with that. That stayed just the way that it is. And then we just painted up the outside of it to give that the brown wooden finish. And then the top half of the camper itself, you'll see we just have it painted up there on this side with the brown to give that wood simulated look I'm shooting for. You'll see on this side we got the canopy aluminum done, and the door kind of dry brushed aluminum around the windows. I did detail up this a whole lot more. And then we have the main casting itself, which we just kind of spray bombed that with some green and some other weathering sprays that I had, as well as a black wash for all the door seams and stuff you see there. So then we move on to the camper insert. And what we did here was I cut several pieces of 1/16 square balsa wood and went ahead and glued them to the siding. So we had a wood siding effect. I spaced them out just like so, and went all the way up to the roof and down the side. And that took a little bit of time, but we got it done. And in just a second here, you'll see how we went ahead and glued on the rest of them in the corner there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this, and then we'll play some music for you guys to just sit back and relax and see how we glued those on. Alright, so we're just about ready for the final reveal here for this Diecast Mafia camper trailer build. That didn't exactly go the way that I was originally intending, but we're going to call it finished. So right here I'll insert what we started with, so you'll see on the turntable the beginning of our project. So here's what we're starting with. So we'll get the revised model up onto the turntable here and see what we ended up with. All right, and so there we have it. The final build for the Diecast Mafia February 2022 camper trailer. So the modifications made to the trailer was a suspension lift, bigger tires, extended the tongue for the hitch to go to the trailer, repainted it and molded it up to look as though it's a wooden sided camper trailer, and then